So we're starting off on September 4th, 2024, and police have been called to a Walmart parking lot. Right away, you can see the officer approaching a vehicle with a New York plate, and immediately he spots something suspicious: an unopened bottle of alcohol sitting between the suspect's legs. Now, this is already a red flag because when someone has alcohol just chilling there in plain view, it raises questions. The officer asks where she got it from, and here's where the story starts getting interesting.
Okay, and where did you get that at?
I got it from a friend. I have also Prosecco.
Okay.
Rum.
So what did you just take out of the store at Walmart?
Excuse me?
Okay, so they just called us and their loss prevention witnessed you and has you on video taking stuff out of the store, okay?
Taking what out of the store?
Merchandise out of the store, all right? So I'm gonna have you, so go ahead and set those down for me. I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle, okay?
Okay.
She claims she got it from a friend, which is like the most generic excuse in the book. When you're caught with something and you say, "A friend gave it to me," that's usually code for, "I don't have a good explanation." The officer isn't buying it because Walmart's loss prevention has already called them. They've got her on video taking merchandise without paying. What's really fascinating here is how calm the officer is being. He's not aggressive, he's just asking straightforward questions. But you can already see the suspect is uncomfortable because she knows what's coming. The officer mentions they have video evidence, which is basically the golden ticket in these situations. Walmart has cameras everywhere, and loss prevention literally watches people all day. When they call the cops, they're usually pretty confident about what they saw. The suspect's already starting to squirm because she knows there's footage, but she's still trying to play it cool.
I'll be Schnooks, and this I've had for a day.
Okay.
Again, unopened.
Okay, all right. So go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me. You can, if you want, you can roll the window up and turn it off, okay?
I'll turn, I have no...
All right, do you want to roll your window up? We're gonna step inside for a minute, so that's why I'm allowing you to
Why
roll
are
your
we
window.
stepping inside?
Because we're gonna go see loss prevention. How much have you had to drink?
Me?
Yes.
I haven't taken anything. Everything is unopened.
Okay, all right. We're gonna...
Now, things are getting spicy because the officer notices there's produce all over the floor of her car. He's asking where it came from, and she starts naming some store called Ali or Algae. Honestly, it's hard to tell what she's saying, which is probably intentional. When people start mumbling or giving vague answers, it's usually because they don't have a solid story prepared.
We're gonna step inside, okay? It's not an option right now at this point. We're gonna go inside, okay? So you can either walk in peacefully or we can walk you in there, okay?
Here's the deal. The reason that we are here is Walmart loss prevention called us and said that there's some items in here that you did not pay for. That is why we're here.
I stopped.
Okay.
Stopped.
That's why we want to walk you in there and see what's going on.
Get it figured out.
No, I'm from New York. I'm not, I don't have my receipt. I have my digital receipt if you guys want to see that instead.
You do have a digital receipt?
I do.
Okay.
It's from my sister's card.
Okay.
Is it on your phone?
Yes, it is.
You want to grab your phone?
So hold on. I've been here counting and budgeting and all of this stuff, and now you guys just pulled me up. I could have left. Like, what's the problem?
Well, again,
We've already explained
the problem is loss prevention is saying that there are some items that you did not pay for.
What item?
Okay, so now she's really digging her heels in. She doesn't want to go inside, and the officer is being super clear this isn't optional anymore. He's giving her a choice: walk in peacefully or be walked in. That's cop speak for you're going inside one way or another, so pick the easy way. She's still trying to avoid it, asking, why are we stepping inside, even though he's already explained it multiple times. The officer asks her how much she's had to drink because he's probably noticing some signs. Maybe her behavior, maybe the unopened alcohol, maybe both. She claims she hasn't taken anything and everything is unopened, which is her go-to defense. But here's what's interesting. She suddenly mentions she's from New York and says she has a digital receipt. This is actually a smart move on her part, because if she really does have a receipt, that would clear everything up immediately. But notice how the story keeps evolving. First it was, a friend gave it to me, then it's, I got it from Ali, and now it's, I have a receipt on my phone from my sister's card. When someone's story keeps changing, that's a huge red flag. The officer is picking up on this too, which is why he's being persistent about going inside. She's trying every angle to avoid going into that store because she knows what's on that video. She even throws out that she's been counting and budgeting in her car, trying to make it seem like she's just been innocently sitting there.
That's why we want to go inside and talk to
That's what we're going to figure out.
No, I would rather wait for my attorney. My sister listens to.
Okay.
I'd rather wait outside, bring your supervisor, everything.
So he is the supervisor.
You are the supervisor.
He is the supervisor.
So you witnessed me take things.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
That is what Walmart is. That is what we are here investigating.
Okay.
Walmart is the one. The Walmart associates are the ones that are saying.
Which Walmart associate? Because I
We will
seven
gladly
of them.
show you if you just walk in there with us.
No, I'm not walking in anywhere because I have no. I'm a behavioral analyst. I don't have to.
Do you have your ID with you?
Do I have my ID? I have a New York State ID. My Illinois ID is coming in next week.
Now we're getting into the digital receipt saga. She claims she has a receipt on her phone from her sister's card, which could be legitimate. Lots of people use family members' cards or share accounts, but the timing is suspicious. Why didn't she mention this receipt immediately when the officer first approached? Why wait until now after all this back and forth? She's also starting to throw out that she wants to wait for her attorney, which is actually within her rights. However, she's in a weird position because she's not technically under arrest yet. They're just investigating. The officer explains that loss prevention is saying there are items she didn't pay for, and she keeps asking what items, like she genuinely doesn't know. This is another classic tactic. Play dumb and make them prove every little detail. Then she starts asking to speak to a supervisor and trying to challenge the officer's authority. She's asking if they personally witnessed her take things, which is technically a good question, but the officer correctly responds that Walmart is the one making the claim and they're investigating it. She's demanding to know which Walmart associates saw her, trying to poke holes in their case before they even show her the evidence. The officer mentions they'll gladly show her everything if she just walks inside, but she's absolutely refusing now. She claims she's a behavioral something. The audio cuts off, but she's probably trying to say she works in behavioral health or has some kind of expertise, trying to establish credibility or authority of her own.
Can I have your New York State ID, please?
Absolutely not.
Okay, can I get your name?
No,
Okay.
I don't feel.
At this point, you have to give us your name, okay?
Why
You
is
don't
that?
have a choice.
Because you are the suspect of an investigation.
How am I a
Listen,
suspect?
let me finish. If you refuse to give us your name, you will be arrested for obstructing. Okay?
If I refuse to give you my name, you are arresting
That
me
is correct.
for
That is correct.
For obstructing
obstructing what?
You're obstructing
your identification.
Yes.
You're not telling us your name
Why would I need to tell you my name?
because we're investigating a crime right now,
What's
and you
the
are the
crime?
suspect in the crime.
What's the
I
crime?
just told you the crime is retail theft. That is the crime that we are investigating.
Can you please tell me your name or give me your ID?
I can wait. My sister lives.
No.
Cannot wait. You can either. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. You can either give us your name, or you are going to be arrested.
Arrested for what?
For obstructing a peace officer. I'm giving you a lawful order to provide your name and your birthday and your ID.
This is where things get really tense because the officer asks for her ID and she straight up refuses. Now, depending on the state and the circumstances, you may or may not be legally required to provide ID. But once you're a suspect in an investigation, things change. The officer is being very clear. If she doesn't provide her name, she'll be arrested for obstruction. She asks why she needs to tell them her name, and the officer explains it perfectly. They're investigating a crime, and she's the suspect. That's pretty straightforward. She keeps pushing back, asking, what crime? Even though he's told her multiple times it's retail theft. This is stalling at its finest. She knows exactly what crime they're talking about, but by making them repeat it over and over, she's buying time to think of her next move. The officer gives her a final warning. Provide your name or you're getting arrested for obstruction. This is a critical moment, because now she has to make a choice. She can keep refusing and get arrested right here, or she can identify herself and deal with the retail theft investigation. She finally gives in and provides her name and date of birth, which is smart because getting arrested for obstruction on top of retail theft would just make things worse. Then she mentions it's almost her birthday and her cousin gave her credit to buy stuff to celebrate. This is interesting because now the story's changing again. Before it was her sister's card, now she's talking about her cousin. The officers are definitely noticing these inconsistencies, even if they're not calling her out on every single one.
And your identifications.
Legal partner?
No.
All right.
Okay, and then what's your middle initial?
No middle initial, tradition.
Repeat your date of birth.
I'm going into the car to get you.
Just tell me your birth year, okay? Okay. 140, copy 1. Last of comment, first of...
So now we find out her New York ID is expired, and she claims she went in for an Illinois license. She's also admitting she has unregistered tags on her car. This is what we call adding charges to the menu. She came here for retail theft, and now we're finding out about expired IDs and registration issues. This is why you should always keep your documents current, folks.
My birthday just passed. My cousin just gave me some credit to get me some stuff so we can celebrate my late birthday. All right. Oh, Midwest is...
What? Yeah. I think so. Or did he leave? Did he leave? Okay.
B. Lewis. Can I have your name, please? J. Wolf. What is your full first name, please?
Officer, yep.
Officer Wolf. What is your full name?
Officer Wolf.
B. Lewis. Okay. O'Fallon PD?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this because of the sexual harassment I claimed across from the neighbor?
I have no idea what you're even talking
All right.
about.
So it was an Officer Voltron. He did the whole thing. I'm the only...
I'm going to need to see your ID, okay?
I don't have it.
You don't have your New York ID with you?
I have my New York ID.
Did you try her out of New York?
Huh?
I'm talking to somebody else. I just... Copy.
I have to let that other sucker wallet. Give me 1 second. Yes, it's expired, but I just went in for an Illinois license.
Okay.
I know I have like unregistered tags. I have my whole thing. I have not.
140. Copy 1 by file out of New York.
Voltron. I'm sorry. Can I? Yes, sir. Where I technically assaulted an older guy, and he had pictures of my sister and my niece. Okay.
She then brings up something totally random, asking if the officer remembers when she technically assaulted an older guy who had pictures of her sister and niece. This is wild because she's literally admitting to assault and trying to make it sound justified. The officer is probably thinking, "Ma'am, we're here for shoplifting, not your assault case." This is a classic deflection technique. Bring up other dramatic stuff to distract from the current problem. Then she starts talking about having receipts again, but now she's being more specific. She claims she has a digital receipt for stuff from Bevmo, or at Bukhari, as she says, and other items from a gas station. She's trying to account for every item in her car, which would be smart if she actually had receipts for the Walmart stuff. But notice, she's only mentioning receipts for other stores, not Walmart. The officer asks directly about a Walmart receipt, and here comes another story change. Now she says it was a refunded receipt, and her sister has it. So she exchanged something and then walked out. This doesn't make sense because if you do a return or exchange at Walmart, you still get a receipt. Why would her sister have it if she's the one who did the transaction?
Okay, all right, just checking. This has to be. I have the receipts. I have my sister. She can come down here.
Okay.
She lives on.
So we don't need your sister, but you said you have the receipts. Where and what are the receipts for?
It's a digital receipt for Bacardi. Bacardi.
Okay. Hey, Train, you want this?
For Bacardi. This I got at a gas station. This I gotta get it. This I got at a gas station. Everything is unopened. I got this yogurt. This is for me. Stomach
Okay.
issues. My niece, she's a vegan, and Wonder Bra.
Okay. So, here's the deal. Do you have a receipt from Walmart from the information?
I have a receipt. It was a refunded receipt. My sister has it. That's why I said my
Go ahead.
sister will come and bring the receipt. I exchanged it and then I walked out. I'm cleaning my car and then you guys pull up. I have no qualms about you doing your job. Like, I get it. I'm fine. Sweet Jesus, Midwest is
10-4.
crazy.
All right. So at this point, we need to go inside. If you're clear, then we want to clear this up and make sure.
I don't want to go back
Okay.
inside. I don't want to go back inside simply because if a loss prevention person, if it's the same guy or woman that was looking at my butt and making inappropriate comments, then no, I don't want to.
Here's where things get really interesting. She suddenly claims she doesn't want to go back inside because the loss prevention person was looking at her butt and making inappropriate comments. This is a serious accusation, and if it's true, that's a huge problem. But the timing is suspicious. Why is she only mentioning this now after repeatedly refusing to go inside? It feels like another excuse to avoid confronting the video evidence. The officer asks for a description of the person who made these comments, and her answer is super vague. She says both men and women, and then gives a description that basically doesn't help at all. If someone really sexually harassed you, you'd probably remember specific details about who it was. The vagueness makes it seem like she might be making it up as another delay tactic.
I'm from New York. I don't need
All right. So what's the description of the person who is looking at you and making inappropriate comments?
both men and women.
Well, give me a description, physical description.
Medium, black, but I can't say black. He or she was mixed.
Okay.
And there was, look.
All right. So at this point, we're gonna need to go in there. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not going back inside.
Okay.
I have done nothing wrong. I lived here for 9 months. I have nothing. I have a Walmart car, and I have, look.
Okay. And I'm trying to be as nice and respectful as I possibly can.
And I appreciate that. And I
Okay.
appreciate that from. And I appreciate that from all. Like you.
Okay.
And I appreciate that from all of you. I am not a hot-headed.
She's emphasizing that she's from New York multiple times, like that somehow matters or gives her different rights. She's talking about living there for 9 months and having a Walmart card, trying to establish that she's a regular customer, not some random shoplifter. She's also being really complimentary to the officers, saying they're just doing their job and she's not a hot-headed crazy. This is smart on her part. Staying calm and polite can sometimes work in your favor, even when you're in trouble. The officer is still trying to be reasonable, saying if she's clear, they just want to clear it up. But she's stuck on not going inside because she thinks that once she walks in with the merchandise, it won't matter if her cousin comes in with the MasterCard. Wait, Is it her sister's card or her cousin's card? The story keeps changing.
Hot-headed, crazy. Y'all are just doing your job. Like, it's fine. But nothing's open. Like, I don't say, oh, I'm drinking. Like.
Okay. So we'll get to that portion when we get to that portion. Right now, I just kind of want to figure out what's going on here. Okay.
Sure.
So to make that a little bit easier, if we could walk in there and talk to them.
No. Once I walk into that establishment with the stuff, and then it doesn't matter whether my cousin comes in with her MasterCard and then does
Now we're getting into the MasterCard confusion. She says she was using her sister's card on her phone, which is actually how a lot of people shop nowadays. Mobile payments, family shared accounts, all that. She mentions she's from New York again, like the 5th time, and says sometimes probably meaning sometimes the payment doesn't go through properly or there's a technical issue. This could actually be a legitimate excuse if it's true. Sometimes digital payments fail and you don't realize it until later. But here's the problem. If your payment failed, Walmart's system would stop you at the door. They have those sensors that beep if items aren't properly scanned and paid for. So if she walked out with unpaid merchandise, she would have known something was wrong.
Why would your cousin have to come back with her MasterCard?
Cousin? Sister. My cousin.
You said cousin, but...
I did say cousin. Okay. I have a million cousins.
Okay.
I have one sister that I live here, profile.
Okay. All right. So why would she need to come back with her MasterCard? What's going on with that?
Because I was using it on my phone. Okay. Sometimes I'm from New York. Like, sometimes
I gotcha.
I'll wait until y'all people come out with the footage.
She says she'll wait for them to get the footage and confirm everything, which is actually a reasonable position if she's innocent. But the officers have already explained multiple times that loss prevention called them because they have footage. She's acting like the footage will prove her innocence when they're saying the footage is why they're there in the first place. The officer asks if she goes by any other names, which is a standard question to check for warrants or previous incidents under different names. She seems offended by this question, but it's routine police work. They're building a complete picture of who they're dealing with. The officer says they're going to hang tight while the supervisor gets the video footage, which is smart. Get all the evidence before making any final decisions.
Footage, y'all can confirm the footage, and then I can go out here. Other than that, I'm not going anywhere. I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay. Do you go by any other names?
What?
Oh, I'm just asking. Do you go by any other names? Any other legal names that would be associated with your driver's license or anything like that?
Polis.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna hang tight right here then. Okay. My supervisor's inside getting video footage and seeing what's going on in there. Okay.
So, here's the deal. Just watch the video. Okay. It has you in the store picking out the alcohol, right? And then leaving the store without paying for a thing. All on video. That's where we're at.
This is the moment of truth. The supervisor has been inside reviewing the footage, and now he comes out with the bad news for our suspect. He tells us straight up, we watched the video. It has you in the store picking out the alcohol and then leaving the store without paying for a thing. All on video. That's game over, folks. This is why you don't shoplift from Walmart. They have cameras everywhere. The supervisor isn't speculating or guessing. He's watched the footage and seen exactly what happened. She picked up alcohol, walked past the registers, and left without paying. It's all documented on video, which is the most solid evidence you can have in a retail theft case. Now she's being detained for retail theft. The officer tells her to turn around so he can put her in handcuffs. And this is when reality really sets in. All those excuses, all those stories about receipts and sisters' cards and technical issues, none of it matters because the video shows the truth. She asks if she can do something. The audio isn't clear, but the officer is focused on getting her secured in handcuffs. You can hear the resignation in her voice now. She's not arguing anymore, not demanding to see supervisors, not talking about attorneys. She's just complying because there's nothing left to argue about. The video evidence is irrefutable.
This is why it's so important to understand that in 2024, cameras are everywhere. Walmart, Target, grocery stores, they all have sophisticated surveillance systems and trained loss prevention teams.
So right now you are going to be detained for retail theft. Okay?
So go ahead and turn around for me, okay?
That's where we're at. Go.
Go ahead and turn around for me.
Can I?
We'll talk through everything here in just a second, but go ahead. I need to put you in handcuffs, okay?
Okay.
All right, so put your hands behind your back for me, okay?
So she's now in handcuffs in the back of the police car, and she mentioned she's been in these handcuffs since 7 a.m., probably meaning that's when her day started, not that she's been in cuffs that long. The officer turns up the air conditioning because he doesn't want her to overheat back there, which shows even though she's under arrest, they're still treating her humanely. She ends up being charged with retail theft, which is exactly what the officers said from the beginning. All of those stories, all the deflections, all the excuse-making, none of it prevented the inevitable outcome. The video evidence was always there, and it told the true story.
That's all right. If you sit back, I'm gonna reach.
No, go ahead. Nah, you Gucci, just, this is also... I'll see my phone real quick. Jesus Christ, I've been in the back of these shits since I was 17.
All right, I'm gonna turn up the air real quick, okay? Just so you get some air back there and you don't get too hot, okay?
So what can we learn from this entire interaction? First, if you're going to use a family member's card for payment, make absolutely sure the transaction goes through. Check your receipt, check your phone, check the payment confirmation. Don't just walk out assuming everything worked. Second, if police approach you with allegations and they mention video evidence, they probably actually have video evidence. Walmart's loss prevention doesn't call the cops unless they're confident in what they saw. Third, changing your story multiple times only makes you look more guilty. She went from "a friend gave it to me" to "I have receipts" to "my sister's card" to "there was a refund." Each new story made her less credible. If you're innocent, stick to one consistent truth. Fourth, you can be polite and respectful to officers while still asserting your rights, but outright refusing to cooperate when they have legitimate cause to investigate isn't going to end well. Finally, and most importantly, don't shoplift. It's not worth it. Walmart loses billions to theft every year, so they invest heavily in prevention and prosecution. That $104 worth of merchandise could result in a criminal record, fines, possible jail time, and difficulty getting jobs in the future. Is it worth giving all those different stories knowing there are cameras everywhere? The answer is clearly no. This woman learned that lesson the hard way, and hopefully others can learn from her mistake without having to experience it themselves.